Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's Sunday, and as always, we are diving into the latest updates across various sectors using the RRG charts. A few days back, I had requested um, if you would like me to cover different sectors, um, and I got a few requests. So we will take a closer look at how different sectors are performing. Based on your ask on the X account, we will identify the key rotations and spot opportunities that could help shape your, strategy for upcoming weeks. So let's jump right in. In this video, I will be covering financials, metals, strong stocks within Nifty IT, sugar, defense, and infra. You might not see every stock that I'm going to cover in these particular sectors, but feel free to use the RRG chart and play around and add your respective stocks. I will leave a link to subscribe the Strike platform under the description. One quick disclaimer, anything that we discuss on this video is not a buy and sell recommendation. It's to understand how the rotation works on the RRG chart and to understand which sector or the particular stocks within the sector are into which quadrant, right? So that's something that we're going to learn in this video, not a buy and sell recommendation, folks. So let's get into the financial first. So first thing first, I will go on a Strike platform. And on the home page, you have an option called RRG, Relative Rotation Graph. I have had already covered that you can create various watch lists within Strike platform. So you go to home page, and you have an option called watch list. Click on it. Underneath, you have an option to create watch list. You can upload up to maximum 50 stocks per watch list, and you can create multiple stocks, multiple watch lists, sorry. So I have had created a different watch list here over here, and I have different parameters that I use during the scanning of the stocks. So here is the process that I follow, and everyone has a different approach. Happy to learn from you folks as well, how you follow the approach. So my approach would be to follow the top-down approach, to look at which sector is doing good, where is the RS momentum, where is the relative strength, and I also look at the bottom-out sector as well, right? So let's say if some of the sectors are at the bottom at this point in time, if there is any sign of increase in relative strength or relative RS momentum, I would definitely keep a close eyes on those sectors as well. So top-down approach, sector-wise, and then look at the stocks within those sectors and identify their relative performance against Nifty 500 within 3 months or 6 months or 1 year time frame, and then filter those stocks and put it on the RRG chart. Look at their status on the different quadrants that we have on the RRG chart, and then look at the technicals and combine with the fundamental. This is the simplest process that I follow. And if there are any catalysts that may trigger in the future or near future, I would definitely keep an eye on those things. So with that, let's look at the financials. So in the financials, I think we have three categories in the financials. So we'll look for a bank's Nifty private. So let's go to the RRG chart. And on the RRG chart, let's look at the banks, private banks, and then we'll look at for the other things as well. So first thing first, set the benchmark to Nifty 500, and the time frame should be weekly. Why weekly? Because daily has a lot of noise, and 5 days rotation represents a week. And on the Strike platform, the data for the week refresh on every Sunday evening or probably Monday morning. So you will not see the date as of on 13th of September, but there is a data for 13th of September on a daily chart. The only thing is the data reflects on Monday. So that wouldn't have a significant difference because 5 days move represents a week data, right? So keep that in mind and don't get confused. So let's look at this. So Federal Bank is losing the momentum, and let's see how it behaves, but still in the leading quadrant. You can see that there is a significant reduction in the RS momentum. Yes Bank, it is an improving, but not going further into leading, reduction in the RS momentum and RS ratio. Bandhan Bank is in the improving quadrant, but reduction in the RS momentum, but there is a slight increase in the RS ratio. Remember, folks, I have had already covered this in the various previous recording. X-axis represents the RS ratio, and Y-axis that you see on the right represents the RS momentum. The game is all about looking at the RS ratio and RS momentum, right? So, and the middle point is 100. Anything is above 100 is good for us to look at it. Anything below 100 within weakening quadrant is interesting. If it is significantly decreasing and the reduction continues in the RS momentum and getting into lagging, something which we will be interesting to look at as well. Kotak, a significant reduction in the RS momentum, but it still isn't improving. Yes, there is a slight increase in the RS ratio and there is a reduction, but now the reduction of RS momentum has decreased. So it's very interesting to see if it gets into a leading. Senko, oh, I think I've had it for my view. So you can ignore that. RBL Bank is in the lagging. Look at this. Significant reduction in the RS momentum and significant reduction in the RS ratio. IDFC First Bank is still in the lagging. IndusInd Bank is going towards improving. Let's say if there is a push in terms of RS momentum. So anything goes above this line, this is the benchmark, which is 100. If anything goes above this is interesting for me. Axis Bank, yeah, reduction in the RS momentum. It is in the lagging zone at the moment. SDFC Bank, significant reduction in the RS momentum, and there is a slight reduction in the RS ratio. ICICI Bank is very close to the benchmark, which is center, and the tail length is not that big. So very stable movement, though it is in a lagging zone. Not a significant reduction. Remember this. City Union Bank reduction in the RS momentum, and look at this straightforward from leading to lagging, not even going into weakening. So what does that represent? That represents a significant reduction in the RS momentum and the RS ratio, right? Now, this is all about private banks. Some of the private banks, you may have used RRG chart. It's free for 7 days. Play around. If you like the chart, you may want to subscribe. You will get a 10% discount. So play around if I missed out any particular stock that you were looking for it. Let's look at the PSU banks. All right. So Nifty 500, and we will look for a weekly time frame. All right. Wonderful chart. So look at this. Lot of PSUs are showing a lot of increase in the RS momentum, right? So it's very interesting. And Bank of India is almost cross the center benchmark, which is 100 and getting into improving. Significant increase in the RS momentum. It is still far from the benchmark. So it will require a lot of relative strength to get into with good pace into leading, right? But it is into improving. The head is into the improving at the moment. Good RS momentum is still far from the benchmark, and a lot of relative strength is needed. Union Bank is at the bottom at the moment. PNB, same status, far from the improving. So on a nutshell, I would like to keep this video short. So on a nutshell, you can look at this. The tilt is towards improving. And if you ask me which one is interesting, then Punjab and Sindh Bank is headed towards improving closer to the benchmark. So it doesn't require a lot of RS momentum. Sorry, a lot of RS, right? And then look at this Bank of Maharashtra as well. Central Bank, much it is having a much better RS ratio compared to other Jammu and Kashmir Bank, but it has a good RS momentum. If this continues, it may have a good RS ratio as well. So have a look at it. Most of them are in lagging, but there is a slight improve in the momentum, and let's see how far it goes. So keep an eye on this. Now, next sector is metals. Okay, let's look at metals. Let's go to the strike platform again. Look at the metals. Where is the metal? So I have I think I have mixed multiple ferrous, non-ferrous metals and steel as well. So let's look at this. Just a minute. Let's put 500. All right, let's look at it one by one. Technocraft Industries, yeah, losing the momentum at the moment, but still in leading, but significant drop. Uh, this is interesting. Sada Energy is very interesting. It is in leading with good RS momentum. High tech pipes, awesome. It is into the leading with good RS momentum, good RS ratio. Jindal I think it is again a very good RS momentum and RS ratio. This has a reduction in the RS momentum. So interesting to see if there is any turnaround. But still in leading. Sham Metallic, yeah, good RS ratio improvement, but not a significant RS momentum, but it is above 100. So interesting to see if it continues and there is a increase. So Prakash Pipes, yeah, Ratnamani, it is headed towards weakening, very close to the benchmark, smaller tail length, very stable movement, not much decrease, not much increase, right? Balaji, yeah, Jai Balaji is having a good RS momentum as well as RS ratio. It is into improving. If it gets into leading, that will be interesting. Good luck. You all know we have seen it. I was keep posting it, so I think it is headed towards leading. And let's look at other things. So Diamond Power Infrastructure, I think it is into weakening. This is Talent Spot, yeah, it's in weakening, but smaller tail length, not a significant reduction in the RS momentum, stable RS. Venus Pipe seems like a Nirvana moment with 90-degree move and very closer to the benchmark. So let's look at this, how it goes. Keep an eye on this. So that covers the metal. And then let's look at the next one, strong in Nifty IT. Let's look at which are the stocks strong in the Nifty IT. Let's look at this. Where I cap IT software. Just a minute. And let's put Nifty 500. All right, let's look at this center. And I can enlarge this. So looking at the graph, what you make out, right? So most of them are in leading or losing momentum in the leading, but still most of the population are into leading and improving. So what you can think of is look at the candidate which just got into leading with a good RS momentum and RS ratio, right? So look at Sonata Software. It is into improving, but very stable RS momentum. It doesn't have a significant RS momentum. Tata Elxsi doesn't have a significant RS momentum, but it has a good RS relative strength. And if there is any change in the RS momentum, will be very interesting to see. LTTS having a good RS momentum, but slight a stable movement in terms of RS ratio. Mastech, yeah, very smaller tail length. RateGain, very smaller tail length. Very sustainable trend at the moment, but it is an improving, not a significant reduction. Tasken is only alone, which is into the lagging quadrant, but the rest of the things you can see is in a leading at the moment. So Policy Bazaar, yeah, I covered this long time ago. Persistent, yeah, it is there since long. Infi, emphasis, yeah. I mean, you can go through it if you have access to the RRG chart. You can go through it, but these are the overall trend that you can see. So if you ask me the strong, I would say let's look at the LTTS, right? And then I would be interesting to see Zaggle further. It's already moved a lot. New Gen is also still interesting. Emphasis, I would say yes, to look at it. Uh, Persistent is losing slight momentum, but very interesting to see. Policy Bazaar is something, PV FinTech is something which you can think of. OFSS, I think very interesting to look at it. Um, yeah, I mean, these are the things that you can look at it. But if you have any specific stock that you would like to look at it, can certainly go ahead and look at those as well. So that's on the IT side. Some of the strong stocks that we looked at it. Now look at the sugar sector. Let's go to the sugar. All right. Um, just a minute. Let's put a Nifty 500 weekly chart. I don't know whether I missed some of the sugar stocks, but I could able to filter these. Balrampur Chini Mill. So let's look at this. Having a very good RS and not a significant RS momentum, but having a good RS. It is into leading. Triveni, yeah, good slight increase in the RS momentum and slight increase in the RS. Not a significant tail length, but it is in leading. But interesting to see. There's no downtrend at the moment based on the chart. This is having a simple opposite to Nirvana moment, getting into weakening. But let's see how it goes. But there is a reduction in the RS and RS momentum for sure. Yeah, Dalmia Sugar, yeah, interesting, very interesting. Right? So we'll have to just keep an eye on this. Renuka headed towards lagging, Perry headed towards weakening. Yeah, it's in weakening. So this is on the sugar sector. Defense, very popular among retail investors. So let's look at defense. And folks, keep learning. I have posted many videos about RRG charts. So spend some time to review those. Leave your comments. I don't see many comments on my YouTube videos. So feel free to leave a comment. Good or bad doesn't matter. A feedback is really needed. If something that I need to improve, please highlight those and try to understand the RRG chart. It will make a lot of sense for you to use this tool because this gives you an edge. And I posted about Edelweiss as well. So myself and one of my friends, we spotted this together. He's a wonderful friend of mine. So we spotted that together, and we were very confident when it was getting into improving, and we see the result now. So it's just an example, but play around with this and keep learning. That's the main focus area. I was saying this since long that hey, defense is getting into weakening, losing the momentum. Be careful, and it's the reality here. We spotted that when all of these were in leading. Now all of these are into weakening. It doesn't mean that these stocks are bad. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is you know well ahead if there is a reduction in the RS momentum, you can play around with your positioning or whatever the strategy that you follow, right? And when it becomes into there is an improvement in the RS momentum and RS ratio, you take your call. So none of the stocks are bad. It's just to play around the sector rotation because every business has to go through a cycle. We know about this, right? So it's just the only thing that we need to look at it. So you have everything over here. I don't have to tell you. The 95% population is in weakening, but interesting to see if those get into lagging and then gets into improving, or is there any turnaround from weakening to leading? All right. And then let's get into infra. Let's go to infra. So infra, we have, I don't know whether I've covered all the stocks in infra or not, but very interesting ask. So let's look at this together. Just a minute. Yeah, let's look at. Let's look at this. Okay, good. I see a lot of population. Let's look at the chart first, right? Let's not go into individual. What do you see? Most of the stocks are into leading, and some of them are losing the momentum, and most of the stocks are in weakening. Some of them are turning around and getting into leadings, and most of them are having a reduction in the RS momentum. Um, and then you see some of them are into lagging, and some of them are having a good RS momentum, getting into improving, and very few are into improving. So you have major population is in leading, weakening, and lagging. Very few are into improving. So this is something which you have to look at it. This is the overall view of a particular infra sector. I will not go through the individual stocks. Feel free to play around. For me, if you ask me which is very interesting, this is very interesting for me at the moment. Very interesting. Look at the tail length. Beautiful tail length, beautiful increase in the RS momentum and RS ratio. This is what we are looking for it. This is what we need to spot well in advance. This is what we need to spot in advance, right? Now, I wanted to give you an example of one of the tweets that I posted on my X account. If I can go back and show you something here. Um, I don't know whether this one or yeah, not this one, not this one. Um, just a minute. Yeah, this is the one. So these are like wealth management companies here. Let me just wait for it. Nifty 500. Yeah, and look at this, Edelweiss. Why I want to show you this is, and I was telling you that myself and one of my close friend, he's very kind. So we were talking and uh, we were spotting this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the movement. It is in lagging. Slight increase in the RS and RS momentum. And then look at this. Let me go slow. So look at this. Look at this. And we spotted the moment it enters into improving. It just entered into improving. We spotted that. And after that, it's the story. In fact, we were interesting in this when it was in lagging, but we wanted to be sure that it gets into improving. And the moment it gets into improving, we put a good positioning. But anyways, that's one of the examples I wanted to give you, but it doesn't mean that you go ahead and buy in. So there is no buy and sell recommendation for any of the stocks that we discussed, right? So it's just to understand how the movement works. With that, thank you so much for your love and your kindness, looking at my tweets, responding. I hope you getting value, watching my YouTube videos and reading my posts. Thank you so much for all your kindness and keep learning, keep enhancing. That's the only motive, and that's the only thing can keep you ahead in the game. And spend some time if you are an individual investor. Spend some time on learning. Learn from wherever you want to learn. Doesn't matter whether you learn RRG chart or technical or fundamentals or whatever methods that you want to adopt. Feel free to do that, but learn it. That's the main focus. So with that, thank you so much and have a great day ahead. And Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.